are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are...
Ripley.
And like every other Wednesday family, we try to switch it up, right, Jean-Paul? We try to go in 1 week Dynamite, 1 week NXT. We try to be fair for the Wednesday Night Wars. And we're back, and this time it's going to be the turn of NXT. And the review, I think it was... not such
and what did I was gonna say, what did we get for giving NXT? We're like, yeah, let's do them Wednesday. What did we get? We got a bullshit show.
The theme, like you said, they didn't even try. It was a show that it didn't seem like an NXT. It seemed like more like a Monday Night Raw or like Smackdown.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know if they're just building up for next week. The Rhea Ripley Io Shirai matchup, and this. I don't know if they're building that show. There was some good things in here. That promo was good. The promo from Ciampa was good. But everything else I really could not care about. Even Tony and Candice, that should be legit. Nope, for me, I don't know. Everything besides those two promos.
Absolutely right. I don't know what happened with this show, but it wasn't good. So but before that, like always, thank you so very much for the support that we get from every single one of you. Every single one that is giving some little bit of time from your lives to check what we do. Jean-Paul also hey. Happy Veterans Day. All the love, support, to every single one that has served this beautiful country, has given their lives to give us freedom. So thank you so very much for that. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. And like Jean-Paul said, my veterans, the G.I. Joe. Happy Veterans Day for every single one of them also. So, before that also, Jean-Paul has a great review of Monday Night Raw. Title rematch next week, Jean-Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton for the title. I don't know if there's going to be a title switch, probably not, but this show was not as terrible. Really, okay, Survivor Series build-up has been semi-decent, I would say even bad, to say the most, because there's no NXT involved, so it's a little crappy, but watch it because Jean-Paul summons it up, everything, and with every single move and the possible outcomes that they're going to have. So Jean-Paul, let's start out with Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano was supposed to defend the NXT North American Championship, Jean-Paul. Everybody's okay, we want to know who's that going to be. I was thinking I was thinking actually in the lines that they gave us, Jean-Paul. I was thinking he's going to be a bullshit guy, that they don't care. So that way he just wins it in 2 seconds. And at the beginning of it, he was going along the way I thought about it, right? See, he was talking about I'm cursed, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, with the wheel. He's like, but let's spin the wheel anyway. He's like, oh, is it Champ? Is it Priest? Is it Champ? Is it Priest? And then what was the guy's name who it landed on?
Leon Ruff.
Yeah, Leon Ruff. And apparently, from what I read online, for the defenders of this whole, opening 2 segments is they're like, he was really legit in Evolve. Well, I don't give a shit. I'm not watching Evolve, okay? And then if you look at this guy, he looks like the scrawny little kid. He looks like Captain America before they juiced him up with the serum and made him buff, when he went to join the army. But this is, speaking of the G.I. Joes and Veterans Day and everything, but, it was okay. He's going to break the curse. He's going to beat Leon Ruff, and that's the way it looked. Leon Ruff came out. Leon Ruff was like, that's legit. And then, they had the match. Gargano was obviously dominating. And then who came out?
Oh, well,
We'll go ahead before I skip because
Damian Priest was right there, but like you said, pretty much he was supposedly the distraction, right, Jean-Paul? That was the distraction right there. I mean, Gargano was dominating. He even did that slam that does on the ring post and all of that. And I was thinking, okay, last beat and done. But then what happened, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, he distracts him, and then Leon Ruff roll. It's 1, 2, and you're like, okay, he's gonna kick out. They're gonna be like, oh, we almost had you, and then Gargano's gonna win. But no, 1, 2, 3, you were the American champion. And I was like, I literally was looking around. I'm like, is this real? That was my face. I'm like, is this real?
Crucifix. It's even a skinnier Leo Rush. Yeah, so the skinnier version of Leo Rush, right there,
because Damian Priest went to put the title around his waist, and then it fell right down because that's how skinny he is.
That was the best thing ever. I was like, really?
But I mean, this does 2 things. This makes Gargano look like an idiot, and it's supposed to be funny, but you don't want to portray this guy as funny, haha. You should be trying to portray him legit. You already have the funny guy in Cameron Grimes. You don't need another funny guy. And and then it also makes the belt look like shit because this guy, I'm sorry, look at him.
Yeah, well,
look at him. It makes the belt look like shit.
Especially because everybody most points at this as is joke. it's something comedic. I don't
Yeah.
think that like it's supposed to be done to make. I mean, this guy good because why? We don't know this guy first of all, and like, I mean, what are you gonna do with this guy? Even Drake Maverick can beat him. So okay, like it doesn't to me. I want to find out the absolute the sense on this because it just doesn't like it still for me doesn't sit well. I don't understand what's going on with this. Like you said, and the crucifix was the move that actually gave him the championship. Damian Priest was actually carrying him to the back where everybody was congratulating him. And the funny thing is like he actually gave him money because he said, Gargano is gonna come right after you.
Well, no, he gave him the car keys.
Oh, okay, the car keys. I just saw
Because he's like, it's a black Challenger outside, and then I'm like, what, like, oh, the car, okay, a Challenger, oh, okay. I was like, what's he talking about? But then I was like, because I didn't see it either. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay, so it must have been car keys. So he probably gave him the keys to his own car, and then he's just taking off. So
he's like, run away,
yeah.
like, as fast as he can because Gargano is gonna want a rematch. And I'm thinking the same way that you were thinking. Is like, hey, they're gonna do the rematch maybe later on in the show. Gargano gets the title back. There's no way that he's gonna leave with the championship. And actually, there was a way because he left with the title.
Yeah, this was so bad. This was awful. If you were just like not, if you're not rope break, you're not somebody who has to watch every show, you're gonna flip over to AEW.
I think so. Yeah, and that's the one of the they people complain about AEW for like sometimes they do stupid decisions. This, if you find logic into this, you please let me know what it is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on any show. I don't care which one it is. I normally like NXT more, but this show was awful. I honestly can't see AEW being worse.
Oh yeah, like AEW probably are going to beat their asses this week, and rightfully so. Please do it. People like the AEW fans, everybody that loves AEW, please. I hope you watch because this was just bad. Doesn't make any sense, and from this picture, doesn't even look like Leo Ruff. It looks like Leo Rush.
Yeah,
you think that is Leo Rush? But like Dejan Paul, we got to see another title match, and this one has no build. Nothing was ever said about this. You said that they said it in last week. I didn't remember seeing it, but like it was like Santos Escobar.
Oh no, not this one. The Gargano one is the one I was okay. This I didn't know nothing about this. The Gargano defense I knew, but this came out of nowhere. They showed the thing where he attacked him with like a lead pipe. He's like, "Oh, I took out one of your boys. 1 down, 2 to go." And it's like, okay, we get this rematch. You see him there holding his ribs, like but. Did anybody care? Did anybody think, Santos was going to lose?
Oh, yeah, and then the guy that you're talking about is Jake
Atlas. Yes.
It's Jake Atlas because, like, he got the title, like, defense with Santos Escobar, Cruiserweight Championship on the line. The match was, like, decent at most, I will say. Like, they had, like, the two guys from, like, Legado del Fantasma. They kicked them out. They went to picture-in-picture, and during picture-in-picture, they took the guys out. So that takes away from me. Like, I'm kind of, like, I'm learning that idea from you because it's, like, now that like the picture-in-picture goes in, it's like, I was trying to get into this, but no, they took it away really, really fast, Jean Paul. And Santos had a little bit of good spots in the match. Jake Atlas, like for the most part, an awful suicide dive, pretty dangerous, I will say, even like because he even like extended his arm and ended up hitting Santos in the face. But what do you think on this, Jean Paul?
Yeah, I mean the match, like I said, I wasn't really invested in it. No build because we saw the championship match he lost. Before it's like, why is he having another one? I feel like this show was just thrown together. Like we see on Monday Night Raw, Asuka will defend the title on a pay-per-view. Then the next Monday she's having a rematch because they don't know what to do when they have this. They're like, let's just do a rematch because these people don't care. We only get 600, 700,000 viewers. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're like,
true, though. I mean, you're absolutely going in the right direction when it comes to that, Jean Paul. But like, he didn't even do the Phantom Driver again. For the second week in a row, he doesn't do his finishing move. He did like this underhook, like it was like a shoulder breaker, I will say, because like it's like both arms, and then he like slams you on the shoulder, and that was pretty much he got the win. 1, 2, 3. He retains the championship. He remains the champion, and of course, there was no reason for him to lose that championship because what's the main feud right here, Jean Paul? Jordan Devlin. They want to do that because that's the best thing that they're going to have. And once they do this, then in the Cruiserweight Championship is going to finally get again legitimacy because Santos is great, but like absolutely unable to have a great feud aside of like Isaiah Swerve Scott. After that, like who is like a potential number one contender for him? Nobody. So Jordan Devlin is the only one that appointed to be that kind of person, and let's see who's the undisputed Cruiserweight Champion, Jean Paul. Let's go
Yeah.
with like the next segment on the show, and this was like Raquel Gonzalez against Xia Li. This is another disappointment. At least for me, I don't know where the story is gonna go, Jean Paul, but like this to me didn't make any sense. Xia Li's been asking for a match. She wants to like redeem herself. A lot of weeks of like frustration, losses, feels like unable to get a win. They took her out for that tournament that she was gonna have because she didn't let anybody know in the WWE that she was gonna be in the tournament outside of like the company. So like maybe they're punishing her for that. But this didn't make any sense whatsoever for me, Jean Paul. Raquel Gonzalez comes out, and Boa is actually the one in the ring, and she beats the crap out of him, Jean Paul.
Yeah, he comes out and he's just like, oh, she's not here. Sorry. He bows and shit. And then she like kicks him in the face as he's going to get out of the ring and just beats the hell out of him, throws him into the Lexiglass. I mean, the plexiglass, throws him into that twice and just beats the shit out of him. And what I said to you, I'll say it here. If they plan on ever using Boa as a wrestler, he's buried.
Oh yeah,
I know Raquel Gonzalez is just as big as him, maybe even bigger, but like
no, she was big.
But really, like the guy can't like get out of that and defend himself. He's supposed to be a wrestler, just like this. What now? He's gonna try to compete against the guys who are even bigger than Raquel and stand a chance? No, this guy's dead and buried. So I don't know what they're doing, but I guess we'll have to wait.
And then we had another mystery guy, all right, Jean Paul, right there. Mm-hmm. Boom. He gave it another number. He gave it like a letter, like an envelope to Boa, and I gave things like they're trying to get like a Japanese or like in this case, Chinese faction, of guys because it will be Xia Li, Boa, and now this guy. So like, where the storyline goes again? This NXT has like a lot of questions more than answers. So I mean, I don't know where this is going, but like you said, Boa, like the fact that like he got his ass kicked by like Raquel. I mean, Raquel is huge, but.
I would have rather seen that Boa left, and then like we didn't see this mystery guy, and it's just Boa, and then maybe Raquel beats up the ref because at least you're protecting one of your wrestlers, like a male wrestler. Not trying to be like men are better than women, but a male wrestler getting beat up by a woman is just for the general audience seeing that they'll be like this guy's a loser.
Yeah, especially because we never seen Boa actually fighting.
Yeah.
We don't know what he does. We don't know what kind of wrestler he is. At least Kushida, we know he's good and everybody, but we don't know anything about. Now the only thing we know about is that he got his ass kicked by Raquel. But Jean Paul, let's go to the next, segment, and this is Toni Storm going against Candice LeRae. This was supposed to be the redemption for me because, of course, of like the dummy thick Toni Storm. I was really dumb by like the whole show, and this made me dumber. But like this was actually decent at most also because I don't know what it was, but like the whole vibe of the show is like you say, they just didn't care enough for this week. Toni came out and of course with like the match with like Candice, this was okay. But like again, we were actually kind of hinting that Toni Storm was heel. Remember like 3 weeks ago when she made the debut with Aaliyah, like we were saying, okay, Toni like has a different persona. She's more like calculated. She wants to win gold and all of that. Now she goes back as like as a baby face. So all of those promos to me mean absolutely anything, Jean Paul.
I don't know what they're. I really feel like this week they're just like shit. We don't know. Like I really can't explain. I can't be like, oh, they did it because of this, because of that. Just nothing was good this week. Really, nothing made sense. This match was all right. As I'm watching, I felt like it was Candice, the little sister, was beating up her older sister.
Yes.
They look almost the same. Yeah, they're beating each other up. But I mean, it's good. Both these women are talented. But it came down to was there a match that had a clean, legit finish tonight?
No.
Let's really think about it. They're all.
This is the whole bottom of the show. I'm going to show you in one picture. Like, boom, right.
Yep.
Both of them. That's what the whole vibe of the show. That's the whole theme. They, nobody care. Everybody's tired.
Because you could have played it that like Toni's the face, and then maybe she beats Candice after the thing, and then she beats the shit out of Candice when it's over to be like, okay, no, she's kind of a heel. And then you can have Indy Hartwell and all that come down, and the big reveal. Oh, the ghost face scream. Who is it? Oh, it's Indy Hartwell. Like you have to have one brain cell to not know that that's who it was.
Yeah.
Like she helped out Candice and Johnny before. It's like, oh, who could be helping him out now? Like what I mean? So
like before we go to that Jean Paul right there, like Candice wins the match because she came off the ropes. She came on the ropes while she was doing a pinning. And then like that's how she won, but like you said, Toni Storm kind of got really upset about that. So then she kept attacking because she wanted, like, she thought she was going to win for some reason. And, I guess the match called for, like, Candice to win. But like you said, the Scream Woman, Mr. Woman that Jean Paul already said, Indy Hartwell, why? How I found out that she was that? She was her because of the big boot. It's like absolutely like she hits the big boot in such a way, special way. I'm like always Indy Hartwell. And like also Shotzi Blackheart came out because actually before the match she had a promo and she said that like, oh, like that tag meant my whole life to me. It was just like the tank helped me out to like a lot of tribulations, helped me out to become the woman I am, all of that. So like Candice is more than personal. And she keeps going with that narrative. And then I was thinking she was gonna say like a swear word, something that shows intensity. Oh, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Okay, shouldn't that be initially you want to get her ass kicked, And
oh yeah, like, you're in a sport where you fight each other.
Fucking kick you, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you, something like that. Believe it, and I will believe that is good.
Well, yeah, and usually for the big the big swear pop for the women, they always make them say bitch, like I'm gonna make you my bitch, or like something like that. So they could have did that, but no, like you said, I don't know. I really don't know this week.
I really don't know with this one.
I'm like Jeff Hardy, no more words.
No more, yeah. Indy Hartwell was like the Mr. Woman. Do we really care? Probably the next week they're gonna have a match. I don't really,
Yeah, a tag match, and then maybe the baby faces will lose, and then Tony will kick the shit out of Shotzi when they lose, and then Tony and Shotzi will feud.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So, Jean Paul. Then we had in between the show we had like a thing with like Timothy Thatcher and the guy that attacked him. So like this guy was actually, are you okay? Are you going to keep attacking? Are you against Timothy Thatcher? And he said, yeah. He sucks. Boom. Timothy Thatcher attacks that guy, but then Dexter Lumis shows up. So what they do? They set up a match. And I mean, this match was like decent at most. I want to say like Timothy Thatcher dominated for most of the match, and also like the fact that Dexter Lumis even didn't have like in gear
I mean Thatcher, he was in his stuff then, and then it took like Dexter Lumis 90% of the match to take his shirt off because he normally wrestles in the pants. So I mean, like I guess that's okay, but yeah, it was just and this match wasn't bad, but again. It's fucking WCW 2001. Nothing ends clean. It's all so bullshit. We knew that the main feud is Cameron Grimes and Lumis. That's still going on. And that's what we saw from this. But, I mean, this was good. But like you said, if you don't really care, it doesn't make any sense. Why is Lumis defending this jobber? He should just be continuing to haunt Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
But, I mean, the only good thing from this is now Thatcher gets a win. Again, it was a bullshit tainted win because of Cameron Grimes and everything. But he gets a win, and then that's good for him to hopefully move up. And see, this is now next week. If you want to make him legit, have him just fucking tear Leon Ruff in half and get the belt.
Yeah, no, and also
because you already made Johnny Gargano look like a clown. Don't put the belt back on him because he still has the face paint. He still has the red nose. A clown's a clown. You know what I mean? You completely pigeonholed Johnny Gargano.
And like this, like the one thing is like remember Cameron Grimes start attacking him, start attacking Lumis, and then Thatcher put like the submission hold. He start with the armbar, then he go with the crossface, but then he actually roll him up. So it's like, okay, so you don't want him even Lumis to submit. I mean, I get that, but like he's in a submission hold, he should be almost passing out, and then he rolls him up, and then that's it. I again, I don't know. I didn't find a lot of sense in this show. Like you said, Cameron Grimes came out. They were feuding for a little bit, and Cameron Grimes had a bag, and then he put a bag on like Lumis's head, and then he pretty much like isolated him. Then he pulled him outside of the ring. Then he had a chair. Then he put the chair, like he said, like Dexter Lumis in the chair, and then he did a cave in. So that was being good. Cameron Grimes at least gets like a lot more heat, and he gets one bag to Lumis because of everything that's happening Halloween Havoc. So this feud is going to continue for what I think is going to happen, right, Jean Paul?
Oh yeah, and I mean this would be a perfect if one of them was the U.S. or not the U.S. I'm sorry, the North American champion. And this was all like a feud, like, oh, I want the belt. And it's like Cameron Grimes is like, I should be number one contender, Lumis, not you, and attacks him. If this was all for the belt and for actually something, then I would care, but it's for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's hard to care. And then you look at the title picture, and, unfortunately, Finn Balor's gone, so that's one title gone. And then the other, title for the men is on a fucking clown.
Yeah.
And now it's on a skinnier clown.
Yeah, so like you can tell Egg is pissed, and and so am I. I just try to like not be as upset, but like I hate when like you don't give the legitimacy to a title that like so far up to this point it's been really great. Everybody that has won that championship.
Adam Cole, Ricochet,
you know,
Gargano, Ciampa. Gargano before he was a clown, Ricochet.
Yeah, like Ricochet, like Damian Priest, all of them.
Yeah.
Lucius, or I don't even call Lucius anymore because I'm not in the Raw review anymore because of you guys. You guys kicked me out of Raw. So let's go, family, to like Johnny Gargano. He's back. He said, I'm more calm. I'm just gonna like talk to Mr. Regal. He goes like, can you please reverse the decision? It was bullshit. Everybody, even the whole Robrick family, know it's bullshit. Everybody thinks that it was a stupid idea.
Yeah, he's like, John Paul didn't find this funny. He's pissed. Can you please change it? And Regal's like, who?
Yeah, and he's like, I don't care if John Paul says that. He's like, you made this thing because you were the one that wanted to play this game, so the decision stands. So he's like, and then he gets even more mad, and he's like, I don't care. The decision stands. He's gonna be the North American champion. We just want to hear you guys. What you guys think about this whole thing? Because I don't know everybody's like perception of this. I don't understand. I want your comments. I want your insight on this. But this is the worst part of the show. Like I said again. So now we had like the prime target, Jean Paul, because of like Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. This was a good.
This was good.
A nice promo, a nice video package. This was good because we got to hear both sides of the story. We got to hear Rhea Ripley. We got to hear Io. Rhea Ripley kind of like feeling really bad of what happened after WrestleMania. He said, it was going to be 80,000 people. It was going to be the best night of my life. And COVID hit. It was just Charlotte and myself. No crowd, no energy. I lost the championship. Io wins the title. All of that. And then Io said a lot of things in Japanese. But pretty much kind of going around like, hey, I beat everybody, so I'm not afraid of nightmares. So I like that. What do you feel?
Yeah. The promo is good. The one thing I will say, just like personally, I feel when like all these I get it when they're like, it was supposed to be my WrestleMania, and then COVID, and then there was no crowd. Unless you're like 50 some years old, if you're like the Undertaker, it's like, this is my last one, and now it's over. Don't cry. There'll be WrestleManias next year. Everybody was affected by COVID. It wasn't just you who didn't get no crowd. So that I don't really find as much sympathy for when she's like, but it was just played up the whole thing like, she's been stuck in a rut. But I don't like that. I almost wish she would have been stuck in that rut, and I wish she should have lost to Raquel. She should have lost to Mercedes. She should have lost, and then Rhea should be the heel.
Yeah.
Rhea should be the one is like, fuck you, Candice, fuck you, Dakota, and just beat the shit out of everybody. And then Io's the babyface, because them going into this match, both babyface, to me, it's like, the neon signs, the guy at the airport or whatever for the plane. He's like, Rhea Ripley, you're gonna win, yeah. Rhea Ripley.
And especially the fact that they're gonna give us this week, this upcoming week, right there, boom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Women's championship match, Rhea Ripley against Io Shirai. If Rhea Ripley wins, we're gonna go back to do Dynamite. That's how simple. Yeah. That's how simple it's gonna be. Just because Io deserves, a great run. She's been.
Yeah, and the another thing too next week. Thank God we're finally also gonna hear from Finn Balor. So that's gonna be good.
Yeah, so like this, like I said, like your thoughts are like you already said it. I think that like if Io doesn't win, I'm gonna put it in simple words for every single one of you. We go back to Dynamite. So give me that, and you know the answer right there. So like I said, we're gonna hear a little bit from Finn Balor. That's gonna be good because we haven't seen our NXT champion in such a long time. Like we don't know any updates of the health. I don't know if he's gonna be back to like compete again or maybe to relinquish.
If he comes back and relinquishes the title, AEW, they're gonna be laughing. That all those like gifs and with Vince McMahon's laughing, that'll be AEW.
Oh yeah. Well, and you absolutely, and you know why? Because they have the reason to do that. It's just because like they should have just like. I mean, the title is cursed, like you like to say it, but I mean, if they knew that he was not going to be back, he was not going to recover, make him relinquish right away, and then
I think they rushed everything so much since that title went to Keith Lee. It should still be on Keith Lee. They should have built that feud with Karrion Kross, or maybe Karrion Kross would have won it, let's say, a month or so ago.
Yeah.
It would have been something not like, they fast-tracked that feud because they wanted Keith Lee on Monday Night Raw. Look how that's working out for him. Not the greatest. So the title has been cursed since then. Adam Cole was like, you take the belt off me. Now it's cursed.
Like, Yep. Yeah, Adam Cole is probably laughing, and then rightfully so, because Cole had such a legit run. We all loved it. And now it's like the title is like nobody has been able to have a decent run. Lee... It would have been a lot better. At least he didn't get injured. But like you said, they rushed it to put it on Karrion, and there you go. So, Jean Paul, we had a good promo by Tommaso Ciampa. He said he was playing with Killer Kowalski, Holly Race. He said that like he's a little old school because like he wanted things to be a little different. But the NXT roster looks different than when he is used to. So he said like little by little he's gonna start to take everybody out and try to get it back the way it was. And
yeah, I love this promo. I love how he's like, I'm one of those old school guys where it's like we're tough, but we don't have to walk around the locker room saying we're tough. And he's like, and in this locker room, it's filled with guys who just always want to remind you how tough they are. So he's pretty much just saying, and then he's like, these people that they bark so much, everybody's scared of their bite. But nobody, like, how strong is their bite? So he's pretty much saying, now I'm going to go around and bite everybody. Yeah. I'm going to go show you how tough I am. I don't need to tell you. I'm just going to show you. So I like that. And I like, Ciampa is legit. And he is right. How many guys in that locker room and locker rooms all over the wrestling world nowadays, they go to social media, they cry, oh, I'm not getting pushed. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. And all of a sudden we start to see them push because everybody's scared of competition. We don't want them to go to the other show, make that show legit, so we better push them. It's like, hey, you want to get pushed, put in the work like everybody else does.
No, it is true, and like you said, I just, he kind of cried a little bit, remember, like 2 months ago, so...
Yeah. But see, I wonder if that was legit or storyline, though. Like, did they make him put that?
Storyline is good, and let's say, I'm just going to say, Finn Balor relinquishes, Ciampa should be the champion. Just because like he at least has a story to tell. No one else has a story to tell. And Gargano right now, pretty much like you said, he was from being like main event, now he's going to be first match all the time.
And the one thing that sucks before we move on is I don't really know anybody who is like you could put for a match for the title. Oh yeah, but nobody's built up legit.
No. I mean, like if you want Priest, but like Priest is still in the.
He just lost.
Or the Cameron Grimes.
To me, you don't lose a mid card title and then get immediate for the next. That's not how it works.
Bronson Reed in a while. We haven't seen Bronson Reed. Maybe Kushida jump on. Kushida could be. He's been winning matches. Kushida could be the one. Something like that. Maybe Kyle O'Reilly coming back. I don't know. It's just like there's like the COVID and all the situations that have happened. Like has completely like screwed up the whole writing of NXT. It hasn't been good. And we've been saying this for a long time now. It's not just this week, but this week is just out the worst. So let's go with the main event, Jean Paul, right away. Tag Team Championship match. Breezango went against Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. And Pat McAfee came out. He got a good promo, saying that this is the best faction in WWE history. I like how the line he goes, I was thinking in my way here, what am I going to tell these marks?
He's like the worst fan base on the in the entire world. I love it. I love McAfee.
Yeah, like Pat McAfee, like is like the worst, like wrestling, or like the worst community ever. That is the wrestling fans. This match was okay. I feel that like they gave us a good show. I mean, both like 4 guys are good, and I was just thinking there's not going to be a title switch just because they just put the titles on these guys, and also like McAfee and Pete Dunne. It's just pretty much those titles need to be with like the McAfee group just because they will make them more relevant. At least for me, Jean Paul.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's all it is. And Breezango. Like you said last week too, okay, they're gonna have this match, but are they gonna win? Are you gonna, the Kings of NXT? Now I remember their name. Like, are you gonna take, this off them, and then now they look like idiots, and then it's like, so no, you're not gonna do it. You're gonna have these guys look strong, and I mean the match. Like you said, it was okay. You had Pat McAfee on commentary, which was pretty good.
I like how he's talking shit about Beth Phoenix. He's like, you've been calling a lot of crap. He's like, I don't care. They still suck. Like,
and I love when Vic Joseph would say something, and then he'd look at Barry, he'd be like, yeah, like Michael Cole Jr. over here, right?
Jr. Yeah. I don't know. Like, Pat McAfee as a heel, he's good. I gotta admit. He is like, like, if you want to push buttons, Pat McAfee is the best at that. Absolutely right. But then, Jean Paul, towards the end, we actually had to see Drake Maverick coming out.
What did I say? The old WCW, baby. Yeah. Everything ends in a run-in or, a beat-down interference. And, yeah, he came in. And at this point, I was like, we already knew that the heels were going to win. Can they just win clean so they look legit?
No.
Yeah, like can you make this group look, strong and close the show that way? I understand, okay, they caved in Killian Dane's head in the car door and, his scrappy little partner, Scrappy Doo, Scrappy Doo, he's got to get revenge for his guy, but it's like, that's fine. But, you can have it after the match. Maybe he comes in with a chair and, he whacks one of them, but then they should beat the shit out of him because look at the size of him.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
But
I agree with you. And that was just bad. But like that opened up like for the heels to get the win. Although I like the spot that I like the most is when Fandango, like it looked like they were gonna win. He even did the leg drop. And like I think it was only Lorcan who kicked out barely at 3. I'm like, oh, they're gonna they're gonna give these guys like 2 weeks of a run. I'm like, typical WWE. And it was like, oh, and then yay, and then, woo. I was like, okay, this is that. At least it got me into the match. But like you said, they got the win, and then they actually had post match. It was even worse because they had like Pete Dunne attacking like with Lorcan and Burge getting all ready for like they beat the crap out of Drake Maverick. It was just like they just kill him, and then they had actually put him in between like the commentary like table, and then they got McAfee to like do the pawn kick. That's what they did, right? And I mean, McAfee, like, he looks like a really good leader, and also like I like how I don't know if it strikes you like this, but he's metrosexual. So he's like, remember, like he didn't want to throw a punch. He's like,
oh yeah, well, he plays it off like the cowardly heel, like the bullshit. It's just like he is one of those things where it's like he doesn't want to get his hands dirty unless like his boys are there, and he knows all he has to do is attack. Like I don't want to get hit, but I'll definitely hit somebody. Yeah, it's good. I like that Roy plays as a leader and stuff, and we know he's legit wrestler because we saw the match with Adam Cole, obviously. But is this the feud we want to see though? You're really gonna do Drake Maverick, Killian Dane, and all that versus the Kings of NXT, not Undisputed Era. We're not gonna see that, or like
it's probably gonna come out later on, because remember what we said. I don't know if they're gonna do War Games, and they haven't announced anything. But like the last pay-per-view that they're gonna have, the last NXT takeover, they has to be the 4 against the 4.
Let's hope if they do that, they don't do some bullshit thing where one of the Undisputed Era members is hurt. Well, like whether it's Adam Cole or whoever, and they put fucking Drake Maverick in there with him.
Oh yeah, that would just be
done.
That would just be done. That would just that done. Not how much done it will be. So that was pretty much the show, Jean Paul. That was all it was. I mean, not a great show. I think Dynamite. Yeah, will you give it a thumbs down? Yeah, let's be a big thumbs down. It wasn't good. We hope that next week is better. We're gonna have Shirai against Rhea Ripley. That's good. Finn Balor at least is back. They need, like you said, like you've been saying this for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They need the star power, because after that it's just like it's like, oh, do I want to watch Impact again? Do I want to watch Evolve? Do I want to watch MLK?
Yeah, because every AEW show either has Cody or Jericho or both of them. Moxley, Kenny. Yeah, it is. And you look at NXT and you're like, oh, Gargano. But like I said, he looks like an idiot. Ciampa's barely on TV. He's the most legit guy they have right now. Priest was legit. They took the title off him. Now he's like an afterthought. You said no Bronson Reed. Austin Theory quit. Finn Balor's jaw's fucked up. Where is everybody?
Yeah, and like especially the fact that like they have to push the women. Even like Shirai has to be close a lot of shows, because Shirai is like the only name that has all the value in the world. This is the most important name of the roster outside of Gargano and Ciampa. So that's what it was. So Jean Paul, remind everybody how they can find us in the social media world, please.
You can find us on Facebook, on Rope Break, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, the home for the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break, right here on YouTube.
Thank you so very much, family. Tomorrow we have double duty because we're going to have AEW Dynamite. We're going to have also NXT UK. That's the legit show in the WWE. Friday we're going to have also like Smackdown. We're going to have Turning Point, Impact. So we have always like busy week for Road Break, and for the soccer fans, we're going to have coverage of Ecuador versus Bolivia, quarterfinals for the World Cup 2022. So Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is